Back to Karpov Kasparov, 1975, first meeting ever. Cecilia Nydorf, let's get into it. Karpov, 1975, he would have been playing with Bobby Fischer around this time, but that never happened. So he is number one in the world. Kasparov is 12 years old. And I think that against bishop g5, that knight d7 is a better move, and then to play b5 and fianchetto the bishop. I made a video about this because in this position, Wei Yi had a beautiful game. It wasn't exactly the same, but Wei Yi Megsudlu, where this bishop was on g2, well, he took on f6, and then he controlled the d5 square. And I think you can get something similar by taking on f6 and going bishop g4 and try to fight for d5. I think maybe it's just pretty good for white. Not sure. But this is very odd to play bishop g5, f4, bishop back to f4. And you'll see how many times this bishop is traveling, throughout this game. And now, this can't be good. This can't be good for white in 1975 or not. Black is always happy to get d5 in here. And it's just equal. Or maybe even a slightly better for black. And just for verification, in general, yeah, computer is hovering in the Netherlands here, but d5 is like well known, killing the game. A lot of trades are happening, and this is what white tries to avoid. So already Karpov has made too many passing moves. Okay. But Gary's young, dynamic player, and maybe Karpov suspected he would go bananas, and now he stopped him from playing d5. Although this is traditionally very good for black as well, to blockade this pawn on e4. It is a lonely pawn. Black has the d6 loneliness, and white has the e4 loneliness. And comes into d5 and take. And the whole operation that white goes for in the structure is to get knight c6 somehow. So put a little pressure, he comes back, he goes back, a little bit of massage. Gary played another classical move. You develop your pieces, you see two bishops on the E line, and he moves out of the way again. Now look at his bishop. This is a crazy bishop. It reminds me of, what was this movie? His character was bouncing all over the place. He was teleporting into vaults and teleporting home and stealing everything, and whatever. So this bishop g5, bishop f4, bishop e3, bishop g1. This can't be good. This can't be good to play like this. But the art of passing, right? The art of doing nothing. That grandmasters are so good at this. Rainer Buhmann beat me in Germany. And, after the game, he's very audacious, said, yeah, I'm just waiting for you to make a mistake. And I did. And he won. So there's something powerful about chilling out, knowing how to chill out. But he didn't have to say it like that. That just hurt my feelings. So knight c6. Okay, this is what white goes for, knight c6. And I understand that he's trying to take the guy's b pawn. It looks like he's taking his b pawn, right? But the funny thing and the irony is, it's a Nydorf, and this pawn is poisonous. if he plays bishop b5, you can't eat this, or you lose. I wonder what would have happened if he found bishop b5. Why does it lose? Good exercise for you. Well, queen c3, right? Queen c3, what are you going to do? If you go back on c6, I think maybe you start with bishop g5. Rook is coming to a1, no matter how you slice it, but I might start with bishop g5. Where are you going? You have rook f2, rook a1. Where are you going? You got somewhere to go? It's lights out. You can't take on b4. He would go back knight d4. I mean, he is Anatoly Karpov. He is the best player in the world at this time, right? But he can't even handle 12-year-old Kasparov. How's he going to deal with Fischer, right? Now, Fischer would have smoked him at that time. Maybe by 85 he would have been good enough to hang. But because even when Kasparov was much, much better, I mean, he was giving him the donut, right, in the early match, like 5-0. And I think those will be the future videos. But on knight d4, you want to put the bishop back on d7. And the knight kind of has to stay on d4. The bishop on d7 is beautiful because it supports some knight g4 jumps. The knight's sort of frozen to the d4 square because if it moves away, there's, with knight g4, these rook a1s are happening. You kind of have to be careful. And I think that position should be slightly better for black, just because the pieces are more dynamic. And this bishop has traveled all around the world to get to g1. And the b4 pawn holds these queenside pawns. And there's always queen c3 coming. Queen c3 with rook a1 threats. As nice as this diagonal may feel, it's sort of air. It's sort of filing at air. It's just nicer on d7 because all the other pieces are placed perfectly. So unfortunately, just don't take on c6. Don't take on c6. Don't give him a pass pawn. Don't give him an attack on your d6 weakness. Don't give him a square to put the bishop on d5 so that when he comes back to the f file, that he's filing down on f7 weakness. Just don't play this way. That's it. Like any other move could be better. Off the top of my head, I mean, okay, bb5, we understand that. That would have been number one. But when you see material hanging, it's very easy to get paranoid that you're giving away something. Not only is it a b pawn, is a whole pawn, but it's the key pawn that hems down the entire queen side. So you would be extremely petrified to lose this pawn, because if he can take it and he gets in c4, then you're ready to resign. So I can understand that, but man, you're right on time to stop c4. You have queen c3, blocks up the whole thing, and rook a1 is splat. So it's too bad that he didn't see that. Okay, just okay, so let's continue. He took it, and now he thought he was being dynamic this way, but unfortunately f7 is hanging, and so when he took this one, in the end, he just went back, and that's maybe he didn't notice that. I don't know what he was thinking, but queen f8 is a mate threat, so you have to start taking things. So, like if he takes on f2, queen f2, where are you putting the rook? a6 is hanging. If you take on c4, he takes on e1. You have to move away, and then your dark squares are just roasted. He plays like bishop d4, and your king is going to be, where's the king going? It's just a terrible position. He has to take on g1 and trade everything. But the problem is, triple pawns are ugly, but it doesn't matter because the c6 pawn is going. And this is Karpov's bread and butter, to solidify, run away, and check, check again, and then simply take on d6. There will never be any. You will have one check. He will play h3 and then tuck the king on and play c7, and no checks along the h2 b8 diagonal ever. Yeah, Gary gave him a real run for his money in this game. And Karpov improved a lot over the next 10 years. Even though he was the best player in the world, he got even better. And then he won a lot of beautiful games in simple lines against the Najdorf. And I guess I will continue with some of those, crystal wins. Okay. Thanks, guys.